Hey folks, man, this is Monk, and we are back with another episode of Classes of Cinematics. And I'm joined as always with my co-host Bobby Blockbuster.
Yo, the kiss!
Hey folks, man. So today we're going to be talking about the classic film Gladiator from the year 2000, man. And I'm going to give you a brief synopsis before we get into this. This film is set in Roman times in about 180 AD.
Say that 3 times fast, dog.
Yeah, the story of a once powerful general forced to become a common gladiator. The emperor's son is enraged when he is passed over as heir in favor of his father's favorite general. He kills his father and arranges the murder of the general's family, and the general is sold into slavery to be trained as a gladiator. But his subsequent popularity in the arena threatens the throne. Directed by Ridley Scott, with the very stacked cast here, man. We've got Russell Crowe playing Maximus, the general that's been betrayed. We also got Joaquin Phoenix, Commodus, who's the deceitful heir to the throne. Connie Nielsen plays Lucilia. She's the daughter of the emperor. We also got Marcus Aurelius, played by Richard Harris. In this film, Oliver Reed plays Proximo. We also got Spencer Treat Clark, Tommy Flanagan, Jaimin Hansu, Derek Jacobi, and Dave Hemmings also has a significant role in this. And Giorgio Catarini, he plays the young Maximus's son.
I would also point out Ralph Mullier, the other big swole gladiator.
Oh yeah. He's big,
he has a pretty
significant
prominent role.
thing.
Yeah,
pretty much, man. As the synopsis goes, man, this is mainly comes off to me. It's a story of revenge, that takes place in this era. And also, interestingly enough, we also get some pretty cool combat scenes with the gladiator stuff, man. So let's get into this thing, man.
I mean, personally, like right out gate, I think that this film is like just, it hits on every level. You know what I'm saying? They cover all their bases with what we get from this end product. I mean, it's visually and aesthetically appealing. It's emotionally driven and it's compelling. You know what I'm saying? And, I think that, when you put all these ingredients together in the way that this was done, you know what I'm saying? You kind of can't fail. And this film doesn't do that. But, when we get into the story, what I like most about it is the story is so layered. And a lot of times when you get these like sand and sandal style films, they're not. You know what I'm saying? And this one didn't have to be. It chose to separate itself from other films in this genre to give us more of a story arc, more dynamic and more depth. You know what I'm saying? Like, they easily could have just aggressively thrown us into the arena and gave us a lot of grit and battle and violence, ultra violence, swordplay. But we get all that. But they could have just did that with a little bit of subplot.
The setup helps, man. The setup immediately gives you sympathy for this character. Like I said, he's betrayed, man. It's crazy. He's just coming off a crazy campaign. They've been victorious against the barbarians. It's interesting, man, the history of this stuff. They always paint these barbarians as savages, but the real definition of that were just people who weren't under the Roman Empire. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy. Yeah. But anyway, they defeat this group, and he comes back, and the emperor, he's kind of on his last legs. He's old. He's up there. And the emperor tells him, he's like, yo, I'm going to give this to you. I want you to take control over this until the bigger Roman Senate,
he wants the Senate to
yes, exactly. But that's going to take some time. So he wants Maximus to run this until they figure out who they're going to put in.
And also the thing of it is that he knows his son Commodus is power hungry, and he's also not. He's not built for that. There you go. You know what I'm saying? He's not ready. It's too much about his ego and him wanting to be thrust in this position of power. And dude, you are acting like a grown ass little kid right now.
Yeah, we know he's some shit.
He's some straight shit.
So the crazy part to me is that when Commodus comes into the thing and the emperor tells him his plans, and he's 100% sure he's going to be the guy, and that's when he goes into action. It's really messed up. He kills his pops, and then he essentially sends the soldiers. He orders Maximus to be taken out.
Once you see that Commodus not only is going to take him out, but then like brutally take out his family as well, you know what I'm saying? that's when the rage comes. And, you know, with Maximus being able to survive them trying to take him out and then seeing
the crazy thing about that scene though, like they send them to kill him. He's going to defend himself. I love when they take him in, they don't fight, and then he tells the other guy, take care of my family, and he's like, no, they're going to
meet you in the afterlife.
And it's messed up with that. So then was interesting, you know, after he beats his guy, he just wants to see his family, and he goes there and they're dead, yo. The whole shit's burnt down, and I get the impression he's done. He's not even seeking revenge. Like, that was his whole world, at that point. And it's destroyed, so he's done. He's gonna lay there and die probably, but they scoop him up, sell him to the slavers, who end up, you know, selling them to this Gladiator, man, who's one of my favorite characters, man. I love that guy, Proximo. Yeah, he's awesome, man. So he's kind of like their, what would I call this guy? The Burgess Meredith and Rocky, their Cogliostro.
But he's also the underground, like, you know, gatherers of these fighters.
He's the broker. So basically, it's not like he's this is a better situation for them. He just wants them to be good enough to entertain so he can make some money off of them. When they get into the arena, I love that first fight, and we see his full potential. They realize, and you realize, though, I don't know, you know, why he chose to fight. He could have easily died, but maybe that's just the soldier in him, and that's, you know, was awakened by being in this situation. But he goes to work, bro. Like, and we see everything in him, and then we see, what's his name, Proximo, take to him.
Yes,
you know, and kind of like, oh, okay, I see what you got potential.
Yes, and what I like about that is then when they do have a conversation, Proximo tells him Swift, he's like, yo, if you win the crowd, then you ultimately you could win your freedom, you know, and things like that. And then that's when Maximus finds out that Proximo was a gladiator, because you see when he starts talking about, he's like, when you walk in the arena, you feel the rush. It's like being hit by a lightning bolt by the thunder god, you know, and all this stuff. And that's when you can tell, it's like, man, even though he's doing this and what he's doing is not right, you know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be gathering people and throwing them into the pit. But
it's the culture of that world.
It was the era. It was the era, and the fact of the matter is that, you know, he did it too. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like when you watch football, you know, you got some coaches that all they ever did was coach, but then you got some players that turn to coaches.
But what I like those, like, it kind of you know, awakens him, you know, like he's like, all right, this might be my chance to get my revenge.
It does, and
you know, to get an audience with the new emperor.
Yes, and and the thing is that up until this point, all these fights, they're like, I guess, quote unquote, like underground fights, like backyard fights and stuff. And because, you know, Marcus Aurelius, he stopped the fighting in the Colosseum, but now
this is like the D League.
Yeah, exactly, yes. But then Commodus, he has the bright idea. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna bring the blood back into the Colosseum, open it back up. You know, because if you win the crowd, yet again, you can win. You know,
but it definitely indicates what kind of leader he wants to be. He's more caught up in the theatrics and the adulation of, like, he wants to be that worshipped kind of leader.
Yes, because he also wants to pull the wool, because it's like, you know,
it's all about power for him.
And for him, he wants the people, the masses, to focus on his power, not his politics. Because he has no politics. It was already good. I was already all the way dialed in. But then once you start seeing the fights and stuff in the Colosseum and how, you know, impactful it is and everything that's going on, it's just like, oh my gosh, you don't even want to get up to use the bathroom, dog.
I think it's cool when we get to those scenes. The thing that stands out is these gladiator fights, man, the recreations. Like, I say the D League because the first fight is in this small, it looks like a little community center kind of place, makeshift Coliseum where they're fighting. It looks more like the market for the slaves and whatever else they're doing, and they just happen to throw a fight in there. So that's interesting. But after that, they go to the big league, which is a recreation of the famous Roman Coliseum, and it's dope, man. They're definitely tapping into a lot of what we know historically about what happened during these events, and they escalate. You know, that first fight is really good, man, because Proximo's crew, they whoop ass, yo, in that first fight,
and they were all supposed to die. The cards were stacked against them, and that's why he was like, "Dog, you want me to send my best gladiators out there for y'all to just kill them?"
Nah, that's not what happened. I think a couple of them caught some bad ones, but most of them got out there and they was kicking ass, man. And it's crazy because I love that first fight. You know, we get the blood and the guts of it, but it also establishes Maximus, man, because then, you know what I'm saying, what's his name wants to see him? Commodus, and he wants, I want to meet that gladiator.
Yeah.
You know?
and he disrespects him in front of everyone.
I love
Shows
it.
his back and everything.
But I don't think Maximus is ready to expose himself yet, but he has to. He has to grab the arrowhead, you know, as if he's going to take a shot at and take Commodus out, but he calms down and he just takes the helmet off, and then it's just like this realization. That's why I love Phoenix's performance in here. The moat that he does at this moment, the realization, you're like, oh shit, but he really can't be like do too much because he also
wanted to take him out, but the crowd.
But also Maximus knows that he had his father killed too, so it's like I can't, like, I know what I want to do here, but I can't get too crazy.
Yeah.
But then he's got the crowd, and that's what Proximus was getting at. You get this crowd, and it becomes a thing, man. Like basically, this guy is getting more adulation than their new emperor. You know, emperor standing.
And you know another thing.
And Commodus can't take it.
He can't. And one thing that really kind of works for his character, Commodus, as well, is the way Joaquin always looks like he's about to cry. Every time the camera's on him, when Maximus is besting him, his eyes are just watery, but there's nothing falling out the ducats. He's just, it's like, damn, you look misty, like you just broke up with your chick. Like, what is wrong with you?
It's like you didn't get a Happy Meal this time.
Or you got the same toy in your Happy Meal. It's like, man, I already got this one. You know, shit like that. But you know, and I think that with all these shots, I think it's a testament of how great the cinematography was. It was done by John Matheson, and I mean, you know, we can talk, you know, for almost hours on end about the battle scenes, the fight scenes. They are great. They, especially like right out rip when we get the battle of when they're conquering Germania or whatever the case may be.
That looks amazing, bro.
Goodness, I mean, it's so realistic. It's cold. You know, you feel the cold, and you know the sword play and everything, the blood, the guts, the violence. It feels real.
Those scenes feel really great, man. That battle, like, it's reminded me because I watched the Napoleon scene of film. I think maybe earlier last year or at the end of last year, and the same thing with those battles in that film. I don't know if it's the same cinematographer. It probably is, but that scope and that scale and that desperation and that it's like some Braveheart shit you're watching.
Yes.
So to be able to, you know, translate that in the language of shooting film, you know, it's amazing, man. This thing is one of the best looking films that come out of this era, bro.
Absolutely.
Like, today it still looks good, you know?
What I love about when we actually do go to the Coliseum, the way those films are shot, we feel like one of the fans in the stands. Like like we're right there fighting with Maximus. I mean, the way that the wide scope and the revolving camera and everything, especially, I mean, the second fight where Commodus tries to, like, you know, cheat in essence, and the tigers are coming out from underneath it's like, bro,
it's wild that they pick tigers, man, because like I feel like in that era it probably would have been easier to get lions, but that's just cool though. It's just a cool visual because we do know for a fact that they did have these guys fighting animals, lions and bears and stuff like that, you know, just to make it more, it's almost like a death match. It's like, I gotta fight this person, but there's also this animal in here trying to get me. Or sometimes they would just make them straight up fight the animal.
You're gonna go ahead and fight this rhino. But you know, and that's the thing too. One thing that also works for me about this so much is because the gladiators are always the underdog. Yeah. The cards are always stacked against them. They are always supposed to die. They're always supposed to lose. And when they win, it's that much more gratifying. And like this film gives us that in so many ways.
I'm pretty sure there was some crazy CG going on or maybe they used a real.
They used 5 real tigers, but there were some CG.
No, I'm talking about like for the arenas themselves. Maybe it was in like a modern arena, but they used, you know, computer stuff to kind of dress it up and make it look like it was. I can't imagine them building this whole thing for this film, dude.
They said that there were some live people in the stands, or a lot of extras. Yeah. A lot of the stands or the fans in the stands were cardboard cutouts. You know, so kind of like what we got during COVID. Remember when they did that, like in the basketball game? So it's like that.
Yeah, but it's wild. I definitely would love to see a featurette on how they put this together, man. But once you're there, it's almost like you said, you're watching this.
You're you're in.
And then you're actually more in because, you know, you're in between them, these blades swinging and stuff. Like even when, like, it's crazy. They're trying their best to beat these guys, but Maximus military training and Proximus advising these guys, they're whooping ass. Like they send chariots after them at one point, and then these guys
shoot them with arrows and
they
shit.
just hunker down with the shields and
Yes.
form like a phalanx and
Yes.
and take these dudes out, man. So it's cool, man, to see them overriding this, and then Commodus is seeing that hit the Spaniard. He gets a name and he's rising. So Commodus tries after the tiger fight. He tries to challenge him 1-on-1.
He stabs him in his lung too. He has him chained. He stabs him in his lung, so he slow leaks out.
It's crazy,
Whack
man.
ass Commodus, yo. He's a bitch.
Yeah. And he loses that, man.
And he still loses. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dog, that's how you know you ain't fit the rule. You can't even cheat and win. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But also, you know, outside of everything we've already talked about, what really holds this film together as well is a magnificent score, dude. I mean, it is compelling. Like you hear, and this was also one of the ones where it kind of brought to life that whole like score with the humming behind it. Yum, 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 yum. You know,
it stands out. It stands out. But
it does do that, and the score was done by Hans Zimmer.
It's battle music, man. Yeah,
it is.
I can imagine.
Yeah, it was Hans Zimmer.
Classical, you know. Yeah.
Hans Zimmer did the score, and Lisa Gerard did the humming. So, you know that. Hey, it is what it is. But So the score though, it gives these scenes a lot of depth, a lot of range, and really makes it that much more impactful. And also, this was one of the best-selling movie scores ever in history of film. Yeah, that's what they said. And it's wild because like this is one of those ones where like I think the score makes a great movie that much better, but I don't know if I would like. This is not a score that I would just ride around and listen to.
It's not distinct to me. Like I really, even just now, like if I'm watching a scene, I can, you know, appreciate it, but it's not like there's.
It's not something I would listen to without watching the movie.
There's not something in it like the Batman theme, you know? Like I hear that, I know immediately that's from Batman. But if I was to hear something from this just on its own without the visuals going to it, it might take a bit of time for me to realize that came from Gladiator.
Right, know? Exactly. But and just this is just food for thought to anybody who did not know. But in 2006, the Holst Foundation accused Hans Zimmer of copying the work of the late great Gustav Holst in the Gladiator score, and the organization sued Zimmer for copyright infringement, and the case was settled out of court. So I don't know if
might have been something close enough, or
it could be the same as like what we talked about in the Ghostbuster film, like how it was I Want a New Drug. That little snippet was used into the Ghostbuster theme, but I mean, who knows really when it comes to that kind of stuff? Because just because they settled out of court does not mean Zimmer copyright infringed, but he might have just wanted to like, man, y'all not putting no poo on my name, but who knows? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, bro.
Who knows? Yeah. But then lastly, my goodness, the awards. Won a lot of awards with this film, man.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
The accolades, I mean, for starters, it won Academy Awards for Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Visual Effects, Best Sound,
Picture?
Best Costume Design.
Wow.
Five awards in the Academy Awards. And then the Golden Globes, it won Best Motion Picture, Best Original Score. I mean, on top of all the other nominations, I mean, it was nominated for Best Director, Best Supporting Actor, Best Cinematography. I mean, this film ran circles
it all, man.
around.
I mean, I knew he was harping on the depth, but honestly, this is a very simple story, and but it's dressed up. It has all the bells and whistles that make it great. Like this is like I feel like this film would have been made in the 70s. Like they actually did. Remember the damn similar, but not exactly the same, but something like The Arena with Pam Grier and them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That premise.
Love that movie.
But you're dressing this up. You're that film. The Arena is not getting no awards for no nominations even for anything. But you take that premise, you give it the budget, you give it the cast, you give it the director, and those simple premises can become great movies. And honestly, man, most films that do win those like they are simple premises, but they are done to an expert level of artistic talent and and just execution. You
And
know,
that's
and
where
I think that's the separation of,
That's where you got to
something
salute.
like this.
You salute Ridley Scott, man. His vision.
Yeah,
you know, he brought the vision to life,
that
dude.
separates this from something like Scorpion King.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely, dog.
It's a thin
Scorpion
line.
King. You know? But yeah, I mean, and that's why this came in on a $103 million budget and pulled back $465.4 million. And then added more to that with DVD sales, VHS rentals, and then they did a 20-year anniversary release in Austria and I think 2 other countries where it pulled back like another $6 million.
Yeah,
so
this was definitely one of my last VHS purchases, I believe, around this time. You know,
yeah, man.
Before I switched into the DVD era, you know.
Yeah, I think I ended up buying this one on VHS and then turned around and bought it on DVD once I made the switch. I had them both at one point.
Yeah.
But
and I do want to give you an Easter egg, man. If you look very closely in one of the battle scenes at the when they're in the big arena, you can see Denzel Washington in the crowd. No, I'm just joking. But I am hyped, man. So that's kind of why we decided to do this film. That Gladiator 2 is on the way, and we'll probably be putting this out around the same time that releases. So yeah, man.
I want to see the gladiators fight the sharks.
I got a feeling a lot of y'all are going to be rewatching this one and to get, in preparation for that. And yeah, that's the thing now, because now we've got bigger budgets involved and bigger capabilities than when this film was made. So now we're going to get even more spectacle with the gladiator fights, because that is a true thing. They did actually have naval battles in some of these arenas. So I think the Hollywoodization of it is to put the sharks in there, which is funny.
Why not?
Like, why not?
Why
like,
not?
just take it to the next degree.
The cool thing about the second one is that Connie Nelson and Spencer Treat Clark reprise their roles. So, you know what I'm saying? It's going to kind of give it a level of cohesiveness, I think, with the story arc and also with the character building. Because it looks, from what I saw in the previews, it looks like little Lucius got a little bit of Commodus in him, man. He running around, little little wang boy and stuff. So we'll see what happens, man. But I'm hyped for it. Let's see.
Yeah. So we can wrap this one up, folks, man. We're going to catch y'all next time. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, man. Turn on notifications so you know when this stuff drops. We've been getting more active. Appreciate y'all, man. We just hit
big time
1,500 on the subscribers, man. So
love is love. Yes, we appreciate all the support. That's what I'm talking about.
So we're bringing, we just bringing it, man. We're coming out with more and more, man. And we'll be back on the next episode. Make sure you check us out at Classics of Cinematics on Instagram. We're at CO Cinematics on Twitter now too, so you can check us out there. And catch me at Monkey Blood on Twitter and Instagram.
And this is Bobby Blockbuster, and you can't catch me at all because I run fast. No, I don't. You catch me out in the next show as usual.
So we out here. Jeez.